everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from wintertime in Salt Lake City,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, we're going to be talking about prejudice and the Mormons.
What we're going to be talking about is power structures and the Mormons. But all power structures. It applies to everybody and to everything.
All right, Dan.
Yes.
So the Catholic Church apparently in this country has a little bit of
We still have one of those?
a
Catholic
staffing
church?
problem.
Oh.
They're having a hard time getting priests.
Oh.
So what do you do, Dan? What do you do if you need priests? You apparently still have enough parishioners that you need priests.
I run out to the gay clubs and I start shaming like the wind.
Nope. You are right to go searching. The Catholic Church apparently is importing clergy at this point.
Oh.
From Africa, where the Catholic Church is growing.
Oh my God.
And so they have an abundance of people who are excited. They're excited about Catholicism.
They are young and hungry.
Yeah. And so they're going to the seminaries and they're becoming priests, and they don't really need them in Africa. And so they're coming to the United States, where the number of priests has dropped 60% in the last 50 years.
That makes sense to me. Like, who the fuck would want to be a priest in modern America?
No kidding.
It would be, that's a disaster of a calling, of a job.
The worst thing ever. And this makes sense to me. The priests have total numbers have dropped by 60%. The number of nuns has dropped by 75%.
Yeah. And
that makes so much sense in my brain, because it's like, well, at least the priest thing comes with the benefit of, a little bit of stature and standing.
Yeah, some social cachet.
Yeah. And the nuns, what do the nuns get?
Fucking nothing, man. They every now and then Whoopi Goldberg makes a movie starring them. That's as good as it gets when you're a nun.
But they don't use real nuns.
No, I'm just saying.
But it's a fun media portrayal.
I'm saying, yeah, they get to feel like they're and yeah, there's a social thing of nuns feeling. People have this general sense that nuns are good. Unless you're a horror movie fan, in which case you go the opposite direction.
The article says that there's no specific causes for these declines, or that they don't know what the specific causes are for the decline. But some have speculated. What would yours be?
I'm gonna guess that all of the the priest pedophilia revelations, starting back whenever those started. Killed it.
They took away the fringe benefit, right?
That is not where I was going with that. Wow.
Yeah, that was it, right?
Wait, we don't get to do that anymore?
Yeah.
That was not what I was thinking, everybody.
It's probably a little wrong to refer to altar boys as fringe benefits, but
oh, God damn. Woo! It's a punchy show, you fellas. Just put on your seatbelts.
I'm just saying. It seems obvious to me. Right? Probably a little bit more likely than that, though, would be, it's rough. You can't get married.
Yeah.
Right? That's got to be huge. That has to be huge.
I mean, you know what another thing is? Gay people are enfranchised now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think that's huge because the people that were okay with them not being able to have a relationship are the Catholics who realized, fuck, I'm not actually interested in a woman.
Right. So
I guess the priesthood seems like a great place for me to just hide and nobody will care and nobody will know. And it'll just
If you can't come out.
You can't come out.
You go over there.
You just go do that.
Who knows? Maybe
and then you get
other priest.
You get to be not only a stay Catholic, but you get to be a prominent Catholic, and you get to be well respected and stuff instead of hated as a
gay man,
pariah.
Yeah,
as a gay man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably a huge thing. Once society started saying no, it's totally cool to be gay. You just If you're choosing between gay and Catholic, choose gay. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually really glad about the importation of African priests.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the idea of sort of conservative Catholics in the U.S. being confronted with diversity.
Yeah. Well, the article actually goes on and talks about one specific parish in Alabama.
Yeah.
That now has an African immigrant priest.
I love it.
Who is tending to the flock there, right?
And presumably has an African immigrant sensibility that will be beneficial. I mean,
it might be, yeah.
So hopefully,
yeah.
Maybe I'm
Who
sure
knows?
I'm sure that it'll get fucked up somehow. I'm going to take us to Israel, and we're going to circle back there a little later. But this first one, here's the thing. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Frank, but there's a pandemic that's been happening.
I'm not aware.
It's been flying under the radar for most people, so it's fine. Anyway, Israel was fast to get vaccinations launched. They were one of the first countries, and they went hard.
Yeah.
And they went fast.
Yep.
But not everyone in Israel was on board. And as a matter of fact, the worst group to not be on board was the group that wasn't, and that's the ultra-Orthodox.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, the ultra-Orthodox just decided to reject the vaccine.
Do they have a tradition of being anti-vax?
Not that I'm aware of, but they do. I think they do. They're very suspicious of outside things. There apparently a lot of the lies and a lot of the sort of conspiracy theories and whatnot had filtered into their world.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason that I say that they are the worst group to be doing this is that, unfortunately, they tend to be low income. They are crammed into small sort of tenement housing, like and they have big families in fairly small apartment buildings, all put together. They're constantly going to synagogue together. All of these men gathering all the time at synagogue. They're into big gatherings. They're into big groups. So it has hit them by far the hardest.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough.
So now they're working on it again. There's a big push with Omicron variant making its way through to get people up to snuff and get, because the vaccination rates among the general population were around 63%, and about 45% have been boosted. So that's pretty good, not great. It's about half that among the ultra-Orthodox.
Oh, God, really?
So the government, the health ministry, has been trying to work with the rabbis and just saying, hey, help us out here, fellas. Come on, kick in.
Yeah.
The article that I was reading even talked to a guy who literally just, he had an appointment. This was an ultra-Orthodox guy, had an appointment to get the vaccine, canceled it, and like his reason, I'm not opposed to it. It's just laziness.
No.
Absolutely not, sir.
Also, how lazy are you? You literally only have to roll up your sleeve.
I guarantee you know someone who has died from this.
Yeah.
You personally know someone who died from this disease.
Yeah.
How lazy can you be?
Somebody else is pushing the shot into you.
You could be sitting down.
Anything.
You could be.
You could be taking a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
It might wake you up.
It might not. It's such a tiny needle. I have yet to feel any pain from any of the shots.
Me neither. I've had pain after.
Oh my gosh. I got boosted this week, and
did you?
It kind of kicked my butt. I had to wait a little bit because I caught the COVID.
Oh, that's right. It kicked, you got a little sick?
Yeah. Oh, I had a bad night that night. I was shivering cold and then
I hate
like
that.
boiling feverish.
Oh my God. And was your arm sore?
A little bit.
My point of injection each three times has hurt.
Gotten sore. Yeah.
But other than that, nothing.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
That's it.
That's it. So I hate that. That's the worst. All right. Are you done with your story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is a story that caught my attention about that Vladimir Putin.
Oh, I've heard of him.
He's been around. He's been doing some great things for Russia.
He's a fitness guru, right? Is that who the
one would think that? I see where you're coming from with that. No, I guess he does an annual press conference.
Oh, nice of him to deign to do that.
This article refers to it as the annual press conference.
Right.
I don't know. He probably does more than that, but this one is the annual one.
Sure.
Anyway, he talked about the need to balance artistic freedom and religious freedom. And by balance, I mean completely subvert it, I guess, underneath the religious freedom, which I guess reigns supreme in his mind, or at least that's the message he's trying to send out to maybe some, Muslim majority countries.
Yeah.
But he says that insults to the prophet are a violation of religious freedom. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And the violation of the sacred feelings of people who profess Islam.
Oh.
So he's trying to be nice to some. This he did not just come up with this on his own.
No, this was not a message that he's not talking to the Russian people when he says that.
No.
He has a specific audience.
Hey, OPEC.
In mind. Yeah, literally. It's Sheikh someone that he is talking to
exactly
when he says those words.
Well, he specifically called out like the Charlie Hebdo thing.
Sure.
Right.
Which was 1,000 years ago.
He says that that acts of insulting the Prophet Muhammad, right, give rise to extremist reprisals. And then he talks about the Charlie Hebdo thing in Paris, which is it's all so backwards.
Yeah.
Because you're blaming the victims for the violent uprising.
I mean, Frank, listen, there were two crimes that happened. One dude drew a picture and then another dude blew up a building.
Right.
With people in it.
Right.
I mean, when you weigh those against each other, it's basically even.
I know.
It's basically the same.
And, you're never going to like stop extremists from respond reacting to it's just so fucking
but you
ludicrous.
Shouldn't feed the beast. You shouldn't be supporting the extremism. But I mean, that's a Putin thing.
Yeah,
he likes to support the extremism.
Oh yeah,
extremism is great for him.
But I'm I want to see what the next big ally of Russia is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, the big ally of Russia next will not be California. I can tell you that.
Oh, are they insulting the prophet?
Well, presumably. But also the other thing that they are doing is prepping for an inevitable thing that we all know will happen, which is that moment when our United States Supreme Court, beloved institution that it is, packed full of ding-dongs now, makes Roe v. Wade obsolete by making it okay for people in Texas and other backward states to completely criminalize abortion again.
Right.
So California, in response, has actually done quite a lot, and there's a consortium of abortion providers there that are prepping for abortion tourism, travel abortion. And the state's getting involved. The governor, Gavin Newsom, is also pledging to make funds available for those who can't afford it, for housing people, possibly for childcare while someone gets an abortion, possibly travel expenses. Anyway, they're all working together because somebody's got to help the people who live in the dystopian nightmare.
Right.
And California
is stepping up.
Is largely stepping up, much to the chagrin of conservative Christian Californians.
Oh no.
Who have work to do. They, God. In the words of one Kathleen Domingo, who is the executive director of the California Catholic Conference, or CCC, but they should probably spell it the fun way with K's, don't you think? Anyway, she said, we're in a position here in California where we really have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, well, fight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yay for that. Basically, one of the things that they're planning on doing, of course, is pregnancy resource centers. We've talked about these before. The pregnancy resource centers are these lovely places that make it seem like they're there to help a pregnant person make whatever decision is best for them. But then the person goes in, and what they get fed is a bunch of shame and a bunch of lies, literal lies, about what abortion does to their bodies and what the risks are, and then just tremendous amounts of pressure not to get an abortion.
Right.
They are not healthcare centers at all. They're not even centers that care about the emotional well-being of the pregnant person. They just care about getting that baby born.
Well, yeah, because every baby is a blessing.
Yeah,
Dan.
Until it's born, and then helping would be communism. They're not pro-child. They're just pro-birth. But yeah, there you go. But it is kind of fun that there are to be fair, there are actually clergy people in California who applaud this effort and are actually helping to try and get abortions to people who need them.
Good. And if it takes buses and trains, and holy cow,
you know what? Throw in a trip to Disney while they're out there.
I'm glad. It's good that people are being proactive and getting some things, because we know which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah,
and so get ready and take a little wind out of the sails of these anti-abortion people in conservative states. Like, the abortions are still going to happen.
Yeah, there's definitely still going to happen.
It's just now a little more difficult. But you can keep your dead baby tally going. Yeah. Because
have fun with that. Enjoy yourselves.
Oh, and they can have their little statues of Jesus holding fetuses.
Yeah, there was one, that same Kathleen Domingo was talking about how horrified she is that the state might actually force medical professionals to learn about and perform abortions, even if they are Catholic. And that Catholic hospitals, because a lot of rural hospitals out in the middle of nowhere, that's the closest hospital for hundreds of miles. A lot of them are run by the Catholic Church.
Oh, geez.
So she's very worried that those hospitals will have to actually do healthcare.
Oh,
all the healthcare.
All healthcare. They can't pick and choose which healthcare
they can't not do some of the healthcare, and they don't want to do all of the healthcare. That's
some they want to be left out of.
That goes against their whole thing.
Right, Dan?
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this whole new James Webb telescope?
Well,
are you excited? Are you excited as I am?
I'm quite excited. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
It's going to be 1,000,000 miles away.
I know. Just discovery just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Like, we keep learning more about this universe.
Yeah.
We keep looking at other solar systems, looking for planets that could possibly hold life even.
Who knows?
Like, this is insane.
Who knows?
What times we live in, Dan.
It's amazing.
Times that are so crazy and so exciting that NASA, Dan, has gathered a couple dozen theologians together and has asked them to please assess how we as a people would react upon the discovery of alien life.
Oh,
How are we going to respond, Dan, as a people? Is it going to be crazy pandemonium in the streets? Are people going to be losing their faith? Oh no. Will people lose their faith?
Oh gosh.
Will people maybe turn to faith because of all the, I don't know, confusion and mystery and whatnot.
And fear.
Fear.
The
fear. So this program was started in 2016, Dan.
Okay.
24 theologians took part in this in the program that has been titled Societal Implications of Astrobiology. And it took place at the Center for Theological Inquiry at Princeton University.
I'm going to assume that my tax dollars are paying these people's salaries.
$1.1 million grant from NASA.
Yeah.
And the Center for Theological Inquiry, apparently their mission is to build bridges of understanding by convening theologians, scientists, scholars, and policymakers to think together and inform public thinking on global concerns.
Let me tell you something. A theologian doesn't know anything more about how the humans would react to the news of alien life than a fucking screenwriter knows.
Right. But they're asking important questions like, what does it mean to be alive? And where do we draw the line between the human and the alien? And what are the possibilities for sentient life in other places? So that one, they have no clue on that one.
Yeah.
I think asking them the question of what does it mean to be alive, they can sit and ponder on that. Sure.
I think that's an open question. Yeah. And biologists haven't really drawn any hard line. They keep doing it and then they keep erasing the hard line and filling, moving it around. So
it's complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated. It's a fair question.
Yeah. But what happens when we discover another civilization and they don't have space Jesus?
I think,
right?
Yeah.
Or worse, they do.
Or right. But he's a different one.
He's a different space Jesus. Because ours is space Jesus.
Let's be real here. If they convened this thing, it's not about what happens if we discover. It's about what happens if we find out about the ones that are already here, living among us.
I know. That is true.
That's why they have to ask that where do we draw the line question? Because are the reptilians that we have been interacting with on a daily basis just human now?
Yeah. Are they dateable?
Yeah.
Can you
they can be hot. I'll just say. Oh my God. Queen Elizabeth. Oh yeah.
Lizard people are so hot. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean,
I just think theologians
we're going to find some kind of oozing life somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Some sort of massive cells on some planet that's doing something.
Yeah.
Growing, moving about.
Yeah.
Breathing, having babies.
The trick is if the Webb telescope is what finds it, we'll never encounter it.
No, I know.
It's far too far away. It will never come to us. We'll never get to it.
Well, I did hear. So one of the things that the Webb telescope is doing is looking in as far back in time as it can.
Yeah.
Right. But I heard that there are astronomers who are getting time on the Webb telescope to point it toward systems that are nearer to
closer.
us to actually get a more fine resolution look at that system and see if they can actually get a better sense of those planets.
Yeah. And maybe they can look, I don't know how useful it would be, but maybe it'd be useful for looking at stuff within our solar system. Look at Jupiter's moons and see what's happening out there. And
I mean, you could, It's too close.
A real,
it would just be too big.
Maybe it's just a really
the field of view would
really too right up in Uranus.
But you really dug for that one.
It's right there. You gotta do it. There's nothing. It's not my fault that they named it that. That's not on me.
You could choose to call it Uranus.
I could.
You could choose that, Dan.
But that would ruin my whole life.
You would be a little. That would be a little too grown up.
Yeah, it would. Correct. I said I was going to take us back to Israel. I'm taking us back to Israel.
Oh, okay.
And again, the pandemic comes into play on this thing. And in this case, it is because last week, well, actually, okay. So in late December, Israel posed a ban on all incoming travel from the U.S. Because the Omicron variant was coming up. They just decided, no.
Smart.
And then a week and a half ago, the U.S. did a travel ban for Israelis coming the other direction. So
tit for tat.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a sanctions thing. They're just everybody's keeping themselves safe. However, Israel made one interesting group of exceptions, which is you've heard of the group Birthright?
No.
Or this is a thing that happens where they take young American Jewish people.
Oh, I've heard. Yes, I have heard of this.
And they take them and they live in Israel for a short time,
right?
And just sort of get to know their heritage and their whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently a carve out was made in the travel ban for the Birthright kids to go out.
Oh, okay.
So it's your country. You can.
None of them could possibly have.
Right. Jews can't have COVID. We're just trying to keep the Gentiles out. They're the ones with COVID. Anyway, as weird as that may be, it was like, it's in the low hundreds of people, 160 people.
So what happened?
Whatever.
Did it cause a huge outbreak?
No, it caused outrage, though, among all of the Christians who wanted to go there for Christmas.
Oh, no. Poor Christians.
The Christians, they love to go to the Israel for the Christmas.
Oh, no.
They want to sing carols to the baby Jesus in Bethlehem, goddammit, and they didn't get to do it, and they're miffed.
Do they sing? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
They sing carols to the baby Jesus?
Well, they sing carols at the place that is supposed to be the somebody has marketed a little place really well as being the actual birthplace of Jesus, and everybody's just sort of been okay with it, I think.
God, they're dumb.
They're so dumb. But yeah, so there's all these people who are, this article quotes a guy named Frank Cox, who's a pastor at North Metro Baptist Church in Lawrenceville, Georgia, who had a group of 40 all set to go.
Oh, no.
They were going to travel all over Israel and Jordan to walk where Jesus walked. But turns out they're not going to get to.
Oh.
He said, I'm glad the Jewish groups are getting in, but be consistent across the board.
Yeah, he's right. Those Christians should be allowed in. Poor dears.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's just so dumb. It's I want to go to Israel at some point. I would like to. Cool. I'd like to see it. I think it'd be very interesting.
Great.
Don't push your case though. It's a pandemic. You didn't get to go.
Somebody said you can't come in. It's like, oh, well, par for the course.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Except a couple places that don't seem to care.
Yeah, exactly. Though they're probably the places you shouldn't go if they don't care. Anyway.
Indeed.
Oh man. So there you go. Jews pissing off the Christians again.
Not the first time.
Not the
and
first
it won't be
time.
the last either.
Nope, it won't. Well, if you have anything you'd like to tell us about your travel plans being canceled and you not being able to see the baby Jesus, please write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424 666-8442. Stick around, there is more show coming up.
Frank,
Dan,
we've played many a Hank Kunneman clip on this show.
he's a Pete.
He is he's
He's a delight.
an awful man.
What is he? What?
He's
awful?
He's a pastor extraordinaire.
So good at it.
He's one of these guys that's got a big set because it's a TV pastor, or he broadcasts this thing. I don't know about TV, but
You're not a real pastor unless you're on TV.
with the internet, it sure looks like TV.
That's true.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
Sometimes the production values of these things,
They
they're better than you want them to be.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little surprising.
It's an ugly set. Don't worry. It's terrible. And his hair is all.
Does it have lattice work on it? I love the sets that have lattice.
It doesn't have lattice work. It's more like quasi futuristic. It's more like they're trying to do a space set. There was a cheap there was a sale at off the lot at Stargate SG-1 or something like that. Anyway, one thing we've never heard from Hank Kunneman are his his musical talent.
Oh,
and
really?
we will continue that trend today, though he's going to try to thwart us. We're not going to hear any musical talent, but I have to describe for you. I want you all at home to picture what's about to happen to you. And it's not going to feel good. This is an uncomfortable moment. So brace yourselves. He's going to address his pianist. He's going to walk directly up to his pianist, who is a black man. He's going to put his hand on this man's shoulder, who's sitting down at his keyboard. And all of this will happen with the two of them in very uncomfortably close proximity. So,
oh boy,
sounds good. Play it for you now.
Let's rap together. Are you ready? Play me some rap music. Where's this gonna go? You don't even know how to rap, do you? Do you even know how to rap? Oh yeah. I want you to know as we go that there is something that is true all about you. You see, 2022, it shall be known to be true. Yeah, hey, I'm talking to you. And the devil shall be bound and brought under your feet to the ground, because the Holy One shall arise and bring you a surprise. It's going to be a year that you don't have to fear, because the King shall remember you. Woohoo! There, look at that. Look at that. Listen, that was the best rap I ever gave, but what was that for music? It sounded like Lawrence Welk. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now there's time to rap.
Oh no.
My butthole is clenched so tight right now.
It's gonna be days. Dan,
I don't know that I can recover from that. He literally, at the end, I don't know if you figured out what he was doing. He was insulting this man that he made play music for him,
right,
as not being rappy enough.
Right.
Did you hear what you just did, Hank Kunneman?
I don't know. That was a really good rap. As far as raps go,
he needs to start going into rap battles is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Someone call Eminem.
Got the rhyming going on so well.
Sometimes he doesn't. You don't have to rhyme all of them, is his philosophy on rap. Oh my gosh, that
the thing that's clear is that he's a huge rap fan.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah,
he it's not just rap for him; it's hip hop. He gets it. He just gets it.
Lovely.
Oh my God, that was very uncomfortable for me. Listen, hey everybody,
Hi.
did you notice last week's show?
Oh, no.
We need to talk about it. What most of you listen to, we've now dropped the actual show.
Yeah.
So that's in your feed if you didn't catch that. But last week we gave you a free sample entirely on purpose. It wasn't at all just a total accident.
It was our Christmas gift to you.
It was our Christmas gift to you. We gave you the Frank and Dan diary, which is supposed to be just the thing that we give to our patrons.
Yeah. And we don't really announce what it is, which might be helpful if this ever happened again.
Yeah.
I think people were confused.
I think
because we didn't talk about anything. It's so free form.
It was
So
it's literally just us talking about whatever,
rambling.
Yeah.
Like
and believe me, our rambling is brilliant. So totally
and now you
worth
know
it.
how brilliant.
And now
it is.
well, you all know because we didn't select that one. That wasn't like we chose the pick of the litter for your entertainment.
No.
So sorry if you were expecting a full-length show and what you got was nothing like what we normally do. Our apologies for that. People did respond to it though. We did have a few responses. If you heard that. So Wendy wrote into us. Wendy, this is apropos of our conversation that wasn't meant to go out to the public. That was just for the patrons.
Just for the patrons.
I'll reiterate that. We did at one point get into the culture war that is the generations. Talking about all the various generations.
Yeah.
We being Gen Xers.
Yes. And the people older than us being boomers.
Yes, indeed. Wendy says, why is bashing any group okay? The LGBTQ plus community is clearly off limits, but why are boomers free game? These groups are an artificial construct that group people together based on the year they were born. You might as well be bashing astrology groups. I fall within the years that would cause you to label me a boomer, and I'm not those things that you accuse them of. I know you mean well, and you have a podcast to run, but in a season where so many of us struggle with our mental health, it seems like a cheap shot and it's painful.
I'm going for a 1 in 12 chance here. I hate Aries so much.
You know what? They are awful. Can we just not with the Aries?
The worst.
Wendy, we did not mean to hurt anyone's feelings.
Of course not.
Of course not. And I thought that we were pretty clear that we said
so
it was not about any individual particular boomers, just that their generation as a whole has ruined our entire society. It's your whole generation, not you in particular.
Right. Way to double down.
It's joking. We do jokes on the show. That's how we do. But no, we don't want to hurt your feelings.
But sorry that your feelings were hurt. I think that's, wait, that's kind of a shitty apology. Sorry that your feelings were hurt.
Well, we don't intend to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
It really was just meant to be joking. So yes, that's where we're coming at it from. Melanie wrote into us, hey, Frank and Dan, I'm an ex-Mo lesbian. That would be an ex-Mormon lesbian. And I was visiting my parents for Christmas this weekend when I learned that my great uncle was a gay man who died of AIDS. At his funeral, his twin brother, oh God, this is heartbreaking. At his funeral, his twin brother spat in his casket and said, I'm so glad he's finally dead. I never met him, and I have no reason to believe I ever will. But it's terribly upsetting to realize that this same family who accepts and loves me also rejected him so viciously.
God.
The queer community is still nursing wounds from the AIDS crisis, even those of us who were only alive to catch the tail end of it. So here's my tribute to Uncle Charles, who deserved the loving version of our family just as much as I do. Thanks for all you do. Well, Melanie, I'm raising a glass also to Uncle Charles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to all of those, especially back then, the pioneers who had to go it alone with families that didn't understand and wouldn't. Obviously it's wonderful, Melanie, that your family now accepts you and loves you, but there are plenty of people who don't accept their gay kids, and there's still a fight.
It's still a thing.
Still a fight.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's hard to believe.
Yep,
that people are still that way.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Listen, we have some folks to bestow some magic powers upon.
It's so true. Well, they purchased it.
They bought it. They bought it.
Purchased.
That's right.
These priesthoods that we are more than willing to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Please purchase a priesthood.
And for so much less than other priesthoods.
Oh yeah.
Other priesthoods will cost you
10%
of your entire income. That's ridiculous.
No.
We're not asking anywhere near that. Matter of fact, we're not saying what we're asking. We're just letting you pick.
Yeah.
So Ira came in. We're gonna give Ira. He is a priest. Ira is a priest now.
Nice.
So blessings upon you, Ira, and we have a new deacon as well, and that is Carrie. So thanks to both of you. We really appreciate your coming in and supporting us this way. And listen, I'm amazed anybody supported us at all this week, especially after we released not
the right show.
Not this show, but
I mean, it was us speaking into microphones.
Yeah. So it was a show. It technically counts. It technically counts as a show. Yeah. But you guys, thank you so much. It was, it's funny because our patrons actually got the full show. Yeah. So it was a flip-flop. Yeah. Usually the patrons only get the secret feed. This time, they're the only ones that got the real show.
I know.
Anyway, if you want to be a patron of the show, we encourage that.
We'd love to have you on board.
It's what makes this possible. Mm-hmm. And you could be part of that beautiful legacy if you just go to thankgodimatheist.com, click on the support us tab, boom, you're there. It's great, and we appreciate it. I think we have one other person.
We do indeed, Dan. We have our top donor, our Lord and Savior, Demonium.
Thanks, everybody. More show coming up.
Dan.
Yes.
The Mormon Church.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've been indoctrinated thereinto.
Same here. They haven't always been super on the race issue, have they? It's kind of been a little bit of a struggle at times.
How dare you? How dare you? They're the only ones that figured it out.
One might say there is actually a history of racism.
Of dramatic racism.
Institutionalized.
Yeah.
Doctrinal.
To the marrow.
Racism.
Like dyed in the wool.
White people are good. Black people are bad.
And
basically, that's what the message, almost the entire message of the Book of Mormon is.
And if you become good again, you become white again.
Yeah.
Like literally that's their foundational document goes back and forth. Good people becoming bad, getting dark.
Yeah.
Bad people becoming good, getting light.
Yeah. And they would have you think, right? Like the hires up in the church would have you think that even though there might be some stories, and the people themselves of the church, they're not racist. How could they possibly have learned racism from this racist book? Oh, I've heard Mormons actually talk about converts of color in the church. And have you noticed? They'll actually comment on the color of their skin.
Oh, wait.
You've never heard a Mormon?
Oh, I haven't heard it personally, but I know that it happens.
Yes. I've heard it. I've heard people actually comment and say, oh, they're lighter than they used to be.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's a book that came out in the 70s, I think, that was by a man who later became the prophet of the church, Spencer W. Kimball, who talked about some kids, a Mormon family, a white Mormon family adopting some Native American kids, and how it was noticeably visible that their skin became more white as they were raised up in
so gross.
The goodness of the church. All right.
How did you even repeat it? I couldn't get the words out. Dave.
No, it's not good.
So gross.
It's very gross. Anyway, in spite of that history, in spite of these institutions, there are, in fact, black members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yep.
And the church, slow though it is to do so, wants to take steps to ameliorate prejudice in their ranks.
Yeah.
And they took a step. They actually, they had been, so the church owns a publishing company called Deseret Book. Deseret Book has decided that they're going to launch their version of Masterclass. You've heard of Masterclass?
Yeah, it's like a famous filmmaker, like talks for 12 hours on camera.
Right, about how or like, a master gardener will teach you
yeah.
about how to do your thing they have all of these different things.
Right.
And Gordon Ramsay will teach you how to cook if you pay for it on Masterclass.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So Deseret Book wants to do their own Mormon version of Masterclass, which they're calling Seek.
That's good.
And this is to help Mormons with things like how to get the most out of scripture study, or how to be okay with yourself living as a single person in the Mormon church, which if you know anything about Mormonism is literally the worst thing you could possibly be. If you're over the age of 22 and you're still single, you're broken.
There's no place for you. It's 26, Dan.
Okay.
No, isn't it 26 that
Brigham
Young actually has a quote?
Oh, like, really?
A single man over the age of 26 is a danger to
society or something like that. Yeah, that's true. I remember that now.
Yeah. The lessons have lingered.
So anyway, Deseret Book and their Seek platform actually sought a guy named James Jones who's a black member of the church. To do one of their master classes, one of their things about how to rid yourself of prejudice.
And he's like a podcaster. They just didn't pick
that's
a random the black member that they happen to know.
That's right.
Right. Like they actually sought out somebody who has sort of a media experience and a little bit of a presence.
Yeah, and they clearly look, the truth is that if you are a black Mormon, the church knows everything that you do. They have listened to all of your podcasts. They're watching. They're paying attention. Because if nothing else, they want to turn you into a celebrity. The church needs front-facing black members.
Yeah.
They're very interested in what you're doing. So anyway, they went to this guy. They said, hey, let's do this thing. And his response was, okay, I'm willing to do this, but I need to be able to do what I want to do. Like, you can't censor my content. He's not going to swear and stuff.
Right.
But you can't censor my content. I need to be able to say what really needs to be said in this.
Right.
And to my shock, they said, okay.
Oh, wow.
And then to my even greater shock, they followed through, and they actually filmed the damn thing with his script. He made it as he wanted it to. They edited it. They got it all tight and polished. And, the Mormons know how to polish some media. They know what they're doing with media.
Yeah.
They advertised it on their website and everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It turns out they're pulling it. It's out.
What?
What happened? It never got in front of anyone's eyes. It was going to launch, I think, just at the beginning of the year. But December 1st, they announced that they are pulling it.
Oh, boy.
And the reason that they are pulling the video teaching Mormons how to not be prejudiced
Mm-hmm.
is because this man, James C. Jones,
Mm-hmm.
had made a Facebook post back in August criticizing one of the most important Mormons, the brethren,
Mm-hmm.
the apostles,
Yeah.
who made a heinous speech down at BYU. I don't remember if we talked about
We
this or
did.
not.
Yeah.
But yeah, this heinous speech where he basically, his metaphor was about musket fire.
Yeah.
He was literally talking about bringing out guns when it comes to making sure that they don't loosen their grip on their homophobia. They need to hang on to their homophobia for all they're worth.
Right.
And this was, of course, an awful thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy called them out. And the point of this story, I think, because, listen, I genuinely think that the church understands that they've got a PR nightmare just forever hovering over them with the race thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just permanently a giant PR cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that they need to take steps to try and fix that.
Right.
It has been a problem since the beginning, and they've been behind the curve the whole time. And I genuinely think that they want to help.
Mm-hmm.
But this illustrates an interesting problem that I think can apply to almost any structure, and that is that the desire to do the right thing only lasts up until something rubs wrong against the power structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can't insult your boss, right? You can't insult the president or he wasn't the president of the church, but one of the top guys in the church.
You can't
And not expect that there's going to be consequences, Dan. You can't go on and talk about, prejudice,
right.
and rooting it out of the church and the community and everything, while calling somebody else out for their
Right,
prejudice.
literally.
You can't do that, Dan.
The guy they hired to help Mormons not have prejudice calls out prejudice
And gets in
and
trouble.
is fired.
Yeah.
You are dismissed, sir.
Well, let me tell you, they went back to the chalkboard and they were like, why didn't we hire Gladys Knight?
Yeah. I feel for this guy so much because the job that he was tasked with was so important and would have been so vital to him, to his own thing. And the weight of that to say, I'm going to, and he wrote about this, but the weight of the task of like, I'm going to be the one that my church can turn to, and that people who look like me cannot feel as lonely in this white church.
Yeah.
Cannot feel so awful, can feel support, some modicum of support from their church.
Right.
And can have a resource that they can point people to.
Oh, yeah.
So that they don't have to be the ones, so that every, the black person in the ward, the one black person or the one black family in the ward
Right.
doesn't have to be the one to educate their entire ward
Right.
about how not to treat them
Right.
or about how to confront their own racism.
Right.
They can say, go to this resource. The church has given you a resource.
Right. Right. Because it's not their responsibility to teach white people, every white person they know.
Right. And by the way, white friends, don't go to your black friend. There are resources out there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you need to learn about race, and you do, and if you need to learn about your own culpability and your
Right.
own racism, which you have, go consult the resources, read the books.
Right.
Don't put this on your black friends.
Right.
Or,
Because it's
or-
not their responsibility.
or your friends of color,
Right.
of any
and
sort.
They're probably tired of white people asking dumb questions.
It's not their responsibility. So this is the thing that they've been dealing with. This is the thing that all of these Mormons of color, which should be an oxymoron, but it exists.
Yeah.
This is this guy had, he was succeeding in it.
Oh.
And then
we don't know what he said though. right? Does he sort of outline everything?
What he
that
said?
talked
It was
about?
a Facebook post. It's still up on Facebook.
No, I mean, we don't know exactly what was in this content.
No, that much has not been released.
I would be curious to see how he brought that lesson into sort of Mormon parlance.
I would be too. I would love to, like, literally, if I had just found out that they had released it, I'd pay to watch it.
You have to pay?
Yeah.
These people.
I'm saying.
That is just a money-making machine.
Yeah. Have you met the Mormons? Do you know what they're about?
They've got $100 billion just sitting around.
The Catholic Church is like, how do we get to be like the Mormons?
But they have resources that they're trying to make available that are hopefully going to make their people less racist. I mean, it's not about being less homophobic. We just found that out.
Yeah.
It's about being less racist.
Right.
That's what they meant by prejudice, was racist.
Right,
They
yeah.
should have been more clear.
Listen, we look, there's some of our prejudice we want to keep. We got to hold on to a few of them.
Really well with our message.
We're willing to give up the racism one, mostly. But we want to hang on to this LGBTQ one for a while. We want to ride that one out.
Until we give up on it.
Oh my gosh.
And we have somebody else produce a different video.
Right, exactly.
But no, like they're trying to make these resources that ostensibly are to make their people better.
Yeah.
And you have to like pay more.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck them. They suck. So it's not enough that you pay 10% of your income to them. None of this is enough.
No.
They suck so bad.
They are, it's the worst.
They're the shittiest of all shitty groups.
Yeah.
They just suck so bad.
Yeah, they really do. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Well, if you'd like to pray to Jesus on our behalf, you can tell us about it by writing into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and pray at us.
Yeah, pray directly. Pray to us.
No, don't pray to us.
No, pray to me. Don't pray to Frank. Frank's no good.
No.
He won't grant any of your
Do you know how
wishes.
insulted I would be? Our telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah.
Please leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you.
We would. Hey, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on the like button.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, you can do so by going to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/members-only. And there's some options there. We're over on Facebook. That's a great community. And we also have Discord. And so, like, that's a great community too. So just join one.
Just join one and be part of the conversation. Thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their beautiful music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all y'all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year!